been a long time, but I'm finally back. See, the reason I've been gone a long time is because I haven't really been motivated to do much in the way of videos lately. Mainly due to work and me just wanting to relax. Those who have seen my previous upload might have expected something at the end of 2020, which is nearly 3 years ago. I scrapped the project because I didn't like how the video was coming out, and in my mindset, if I didn't like how the video was turning out, what's everybody else's opinion is going to be on it? But there's been one type of video I've been watching since I first started watching YouTube videos back in 2013. And I think they're my motivation for giving this content creation thing another shot. I don't know if it'll work out, but I will be releasing this video. Yeah, my word. So with that said, reviews!
Ah yes, online reviews. When people such as James Rolfe and Doug Walker started doing game and movie reviews online, respectively, it has practically exploded into a juggernaut. You cannot go 2 seconds on YouTube without getting recommended one of these on your main page. Heck, the first video I had ever watched was a game review when I was hanging out with a friend of mine. And now, I want to try and give it a shot myself.
And what better movie to start off this review show with than Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. Seriously, what kind of movie is this?
Directed by Richard Weiner and released in December of 1972, this Christmas film was also a promotion for Pirates World. What is Pirates World? It's a theme park that opened in 1967. While initially successful, its business was threatened by the opening of Disney World in 1971. Apparently, Weiner made this film in order to drive some business back to the park. Unfortunately, this movie did not help in the slightest, and just 1 year after the release of the film, the park closed down for good. But why? Was the movie just that bad?
Well, anyway, let's get started. And hopefully I still have an appetite for ice cream after this.
So our movie just comes in with no opening logo or fanfare or anything like that. It just opens up on these elves, which are clearly just children in costumes.
Which I'm willing to bet Santa's going to have a long talk with human resources about.
Now I know this movie was made in the early 70s, and I can't imagine the budget for this movie was particularly high, but listen closely to how the movie opens. The film starts with them singing, and the sound mixing is so bad you can barely make out the lyrics. For the audio clipping I'm hearing, it sounds like the children are actually speaking too loud for the microphones, but I can barely hear them at all. It's like they're too quiet.
Where did they get the sound equipment? The 5 and dime?
So, from what little I can make out, these are happy little elves, making toys to get ready for Christmas. Though, half the time they don't seem to be making anything. They're just cuddling with them or something. Ugh. Anyway, Santa isn't showing up, so they start wondering where he is. And eventually, they think they hear him outside. And... ah, yes. This is clearly the North Pole, alright. Just look at all that ice and snow. And there's the reindeer, but Santa isn't here. What? Can you enunciate or something? I can't hear you! Anyway, the elves sing about Santa's disappearance because I guess singing is the only way to communicate in this movie. It's also worth noting that there isn't any instrumental backing to the vocals whatsoever. You might say it's a budget thing, but no, it's not. And I'll prove it in a moment. So this narrator explains very slowly, possibly to drag out the movie's runtime, that Santa is stuck in Florida, and that Santa's clothes make the heat unbearable.
Way down in Florida, and without his reindeer, because they were so hot, they took off to the North Pole. What a predicament.
She sounds so bored, too. And I swear there are more pauses in her dialogue than William Shatner.
Oh, there! There's our instrumental backing! I told you make it do it!
Oh, woe is me, oh, woe is me. Who will set old Santa free?
And 3.5 minutes into our movie, we already have another song. Well, at least you can hear what he's singing. But does that mean the song is any good? No.
It was just too hot for them, I fear. My predicament lacks its usual cheer. Because
Santa isn't even trying to stay on rhythm with the backing instruments. He's barely singing at all. And his choreography is non-existent. Is he gonna get banned off screen or something? And for some reason the film cuts to random kids playing. But before we get to see what happens, the clip randomly freezes and moves on to the next one. Because why not?
to get my sleigh out for day is done.
I swear most of these clips cut right before a kid gets hurt. One shot has a kid jumping off a building with a huge umbrella, which looks very unsafe. And another is about to bail off of a skateboard. No kids were harmed during the making of this film. Really? We promise. Honest. Please don't sue us. Heck, this one clip is just two kids fighting. Or maybe they're wrestling, but still.
Who will set me free?
And the song just ends like that. I guess the actor gave up and the music just fades out. Well, that's one way to end the song, I guess. So, Santa falls asleep, I guess, while he telekinetically calls all the kids we just saw, I guess, to the backing of another horrible song with the only instrument being a kazoo, I guess. And it seems the kazoo is the most important part of a song because the vocals are almost completely drowned out by it. And we just cut for the song of the kids yelling on their way to see Santa because making a transition was just too hard. Heck, I can make a simple fade transition in Filmora. Watch.
Hey, Hop, where are all those kids going? I don't know, Tom. Let's go find out.
Oh, yes! Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn! It wouldn't be a Christmas movie without these two, would it?
All right, let's go.
So eventually the kids find Santa, and of course they ask the obvious question. Why is he here?
Hey, Santa,
hundreds of years, and I got stuck. My sleigh came right down here in the sand. Kerplunk, we hit hard.
Are you hurt, Santa?
Oh, no, I guess just my feelings. But my reindeer, they took off for the North Pole. They tried so hard to get me out of the sand, but they just couldn't do it, and then it simply got too hot for them, so off they went to the North Pole without me.
They couldn't get him out of the sand? Hang on, let's see another shot. Oh. Oh, yeah. It, sure looks immovable, alright. I don't see how anyone can get out of half a centimeter of sand.
I would understand if it was, like, cement or something, but it's only beach sand. You can get out of that.
Hey, Santa, why don't you take one of those planes that's circling around up there?
That might be a good idea, except what would I do with my sleigh?
Hey, Huck, could that be Santa?
Oh, hey! There's Tom and Huck again. Are you expecting them to do something important to help out Santa? You have way too much faith in this movie if you are, because they only make short appearances in another 2 or 3 scenes, making me wonder why they're here to begin with. Heck, they don't have any speaking roles after this. So the kids all talk with one another for a while, and then they leave. Huh. Maybe they realize the movie sucks and they want out.
I want out of here too, but if I want to be a movie critic, I gotta stick around, so...
Actually, the kids are just looking around for animals that can help Santa out. First up is... clearly a guy in a gorilla suit. Okay, I can understand that it might be too risky to get a real gorilla, but come on. After the gorilla cosplayer, I guess, tries to get Santa out of the sand, we awkwardly cut to the next scene, where they try to hook up a donkey to the sleigh.
Alright, let's just break this down, otherwise we're never gonna get through this. They keep bringing in more and more animals, trying to hook them up with Santa, barely helping if at all, and Santa concludes with every single one, it just isn't going to work.
Also, let's think about this. They try a donkey, a pig, a sheep, a cow, a horse, and the gorilla is the only fake animal of the bunch. First of all, why didn't they use another real animal instead of a gorilla? They were using farm animals this whole time, why not a goat or something? Also, where are they getting all of these animals?
By golly, it is. I have never been so hot in my life.
Wait a minute. He said that exact same dialogue earlier. This isn't even an alternate take. It's the same one. Watch.
By golly, I have never been so hot in my life. By golly, it is. I have never been so hot in my life. I've got to try to get out. All those little boys and girls all over the world waiting for their presents. I've got to try to get out. All those little boys and girls all over the world waiting for their presents.
This movie is finding new ways to get lazy. I'm impressed.
So Santa tries to dig his sleigh out of all half a centimeter of sand. That's a lot of sand to dig out, Santa. It might take all week.
Oh, I've got to try. Got to try. Oh, dear. Oh, I guess that isn't going to work either, and it is so hot. So hot.
Yes, Santa, Florida is indeed hot. I think we get the picture.
So I guess Santa attempts to raise the children's spirits by telling the story of Jack and the Beanstalk for some reason, and...
have a magic.
Wait, what? Song? What? Song? Slightly better music instead. What? Song? Music? What? Okay. So apparently we have a movie within a movie situation here. What we're about to look at now is a 1970 adaptation of Jack and the Beanstalk, directed by the late Barry Mahan. According to Wikipedia, this was also to frame Mahan's work for a Christmas release. Something interesting I noticed while doing my research is that Richard Weiner barely worked on anything in his movie career, working on only 4 movies and only directing 2 of them. Barry, however, has a much more extensive filming career spanning 35 years. He had produced a number of films starring Errol Flynn and Gina Lollobrigida, sorry if I mispronounced it, who were 2 very prominent stars in the 1950s. He also directed a good number of kids shows and established a production machine, a high-tech Hollywood film production company. So that sounds promising, but let's see what we have here. So anyway, we cut to the opening of another movie.
I can't believe I had to do 2 of these in one go.
Anyway, Jack here is basically telling us some of the stuff that his family used to own, but ended up losing recently. But he's remaining upbeat and optimistic because being sad won't help anything, blah blah blah.
As a guy who may or may not be part Irish, he just mispronounced the Irish lullaby. It's Tooraloo-ra-lie.
What's the use of being sad? It won't help you or me.
No, I don't care if he's trying to rhyme, it's wrong.
To be fair, it does stick close to the original fairy tale, so that doesn't get too many complaints from me. For one thing, this guy can actually sing compared to what we've heard in the first 20 minutes. And the quality of this film is much superior to what we've been watching so far.
What's the use of feeling bad?
Film deterioration notwithstanding, but again, welcome to the early 70s. Honest John, huh? Yeah, I'm sure Disney won't sue or anything.
Ladies, step right up, please. Step right up. Tell you what I'm going to do.
That's right, ladies. Walk away. We're all thinking the same thing at this point.
Please, step right up. Tell you what I'm going to do. I have here in my hand the magic of the ancient pharaohs. Plant these beans and they will transport you to an enchanted land. How about you, sir?
Come on, John. Just another one of your phony publicity tricks to sell more cows.
Oh, I see. And apparently Honest John is just about as honest as the other Honest John.
Oh, I'd much rather be watching Pinocchio right now. Ah! Not that one! Not that one! Seriously, why did Tom Hanks agree to be in that?
Ah, but a bargain's a bargain. I didn't make you buy her.
So after an awkward cut, Jack comes into town to sell his cow to provide for his family. Honest John attempts to sell Jack some magic beans instead of money.
These are nothing but old beans. I have to have money for my cow.
See, even Jack isn't falling for this scam.
These magic beans can do it for you, believe me. These are the key to your future.
How will I know this?
You have to take my word for that.
Honest John, yes, that's my name. Magic beans, yes, that's my game.
Oh my gosh. Jeez, how many songs are in this one? 4 songs in the first 25 minutes?
Damn, even Disney isn't that excessive with the musical numbers.
There, who's the man that put him there? And he'll say, I owe it all to Honest John.
Oh, and he doesn't even have the same voice in the songs. Or at least the quality is different.
Magic beans, how I wish I had them. This would really be my lucky day.
So apparently the power of music is enough to convince Jack to take the beans.
And I don't know what good these beans will do.
Well, you just take them, and I promise you, you'll never regret it. And if you don't find the magic, bring them back, and I'll gladly give you your dollars for your cow.
Ah, yes. Satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Totally not a scam. Speaking of scams, John, of course, tries to sell the cow.
She's worth at least 100.
If you gave that boy just a few beans.
Aha, but those were magic. Now we're talking about mundane dollars. Do I hear 30?
Well, I'll pay 30, but not a penny more.
Do I hear 35? 31.50. All right, sold to the man for $30.
Ah, you see, he failed. Because he can't speak like this.
Are over, our fortune is made. But now I'm going to live like we used to.
What's with all the awkward cuts? Is a simple fade transition too much to ask for?
He said if I wasn't completely satisfied, I could bring back the beans and he would give me the money for the cow.
Well, then you take them right back and get your money. And you, Rosemary, go with him. And make sure that rascal doesn't take advantage of us again.
Wait, what? You mean they got scammed by that guy before? Wow, Jack is lower than a bag of beans.
Get it? Beans? Because he, bought magic beans and... Sorry.
So they go back to town, and Honest John skipped town. What a surprise.
His sign is gone. So is our cow. What have I done?
You've done the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. That's what you've done.
That's right, you tell him. How could Jack not know Jack about Honest John, who'd already scammed him once before?
Ow! Okay, I'll stop with the puns, I promise.
So, just like in a fairy tale, Jack's mother throws the beans out the window. And a beanstalk, which is clearly just a vine dangling from the ceiling, pops right up.
Jack, do be careful. I don't think we should have let him go. Let him go. The means are magic. Maybe he'll bring something back.
So as Jack flies the beanstalk, we break into...
Up and up above the clouds.
Okay, I'm tired of pointing out every single song in this movie, so I'm just gonna put up a counter instead.
There we go. Number 5.
Anyway, this song doesn't really have much of a point and Jack doesn't do anything, so let's move on.
I do hope he'll be all right. Don't worry. He'll reach the top and he'll come back down. What else can he do?
So Jack steps into his castle in the sky as he comes across clearly a green screen with projected footage of a giant woman. And under stage left, the giant of the movie, who is
That what I smell?
speaking pretty darn loud and...
Yes, dear. I've added some new herbs and spices. It'll be even better today than before.
What? What'd you say? Speak up! Yeah, the giant is too loud. The giant's wife is way too quiet. It's kind of worse than the sound mixing problems in the first part of the movie. Did they just forget to turn off her microphone or something?
From my smell the blood of an Englishman. Why, I know he's right nearby.
This song does somewhat follow the tale, so I'm not gonna complain too much about it. He doesn't mention anything about grinding his bones to make his bread, though. Disappointing.
'Cause I tell him that's why.
So as he's feasting, after his wife convinces him it's just the food that he's smelling, the giant has her bring his magic hat.
Oh my god! They couldn't even afford a real hen! They made a cheap one out of paper mache!
So the clearly fake hen lays the giant some eggs. The wife leaves for now, the giant takes a nap, and Jack sneaks in front of more green screen projections. He successfully grabs the kindergarten art project and escapes from the castle.
My magic hand is gone. I knew I smelled someone. If I find him, I'll crush his bones.
Are you sure your wife just didn't put it back because you weren't using it? I know he's only been asleep for a couple minutes, but come on. So Jack climbs back down the beanstalk, really slowly, and brings the hen back to his family.
Look what I have, our magic hen back.
So they try to have a hen lay a golden egg for them.
Come on, little hen, just like you did for the giant.
Jack, it can't. It's clearly just Alex Jones's missing tinfoil hat. But sure enough, it does lay the egg for them. So now we cut back to Honest John, who has changed his occupation from a used cow salesman to a magic bean salesman. But there's a problem.
If I could only remember where I got those magic beans. Well, I'll have to make the best of it.
Is this the place?
This is it. Could I interest you in some magic beans, sir? Surely you've heard the story of Jack and his good fortune. Think of what it could do for you.
How do you even hear of Jack's good fortune? As far as I know, nobody told him anything.
He's obviously a fraud.
But Jack traded in an old cow.
But if they were really worth anything, he'd ask more than $10. Come on.
I've made a mistake. It seems I've underestimated the power of the publicity I've gained. It won't happen again.
I'm acting.
Perhaps I could interest you in our easy payment plan. Just think. Untold riches for only $10 down and $10 a month.
And we could pay for our payments from the riches we receive from the beans.
Seems too easy.
So dishonest Jim continues to con gullible customers in pointless scenes as we continue the actual plot. Jack decides to go back up the beanstalk to recover more of his father's possessions. We cut to the giant eating more disgusting food and having his wife bring his golden magic harp.
Aren't you hungry?
Not after watching you eat.
So the magic harp, which somehow looks even worse than a hen, begins singing. And you can barely hear the song!
It's that smell again!
Eventually the giant smells Jack again, and... he sings the exact same song as he did earlier, only with the lyrics being slightly different.
If he's hiding in the closet, if he's underneath the bed, I'll soon have him wishing he were back home instead. Yes, I think I smell that sneak thief who climbed up and stole my hen. I'll soon have him wishing he were back home again.
But enough of that. Here's another pointless scene with Crooked Carl.
Oh no. Some more dissatisfied customers.
We should tar and feather him and run him out of town. Let's call a meeting tonight and decide what to do.
Good idea.
So yeah, these people are clearly unhappy with him, and back to the giant! That was 60 seconds well spent. So the giant is setting up a weight to crush Jack, Looney Tunes style.
Table.
I don't care. I'm going to catch that thief, and when I do, this will crush his bones.
Okay, and... well, that was an awkward cut. So anyway, Jack's sister and her boyfriend, I guess, find a note Jack left behind, and back to the giant!
Way to waste 10 seconds of screen time, guys. I'm not kidding, I timed it. Look.
I guess Mother's gone out.
What's this? I've gone to Magic Land. We'll return quickly. Don't worry. Jack.
So the giant once again starts eating... a dog bone?
And it's that song again!
Jeez, could you possibly waste any more of our time? We've been through about 9 songs, and 3 of them are the exact same song. So after fast-forwarding through pointless moment number 396, the giant has the harp play music, while the film deteriorates, and he falls asleep. Jack takes advantage of this, and crawls in front of a green screen once again. But, uh-oh, the giant wakes up and sees Jack just as he's escaping.
My harp is gone! There goes the little thief!
Okay, I gotta admit, I chuckled at that. So, despite the giant fighting him out, Jack apparently still has all the time in the world, even though in a situation like this, he shouldn't have Jack time to dawdle.
I deserve that.
And apparently the giant and Jack are actually roughly the same size, considering the beanstalk hasn't changed its width to compensate. Oops. So Jack makes it down and chops down the beanstalk, or rather somebody cuts the beanstalk from the ceiling, killing the giant with a stock sound effect.
Well, that's the end of the giant. I feel sorry for Mrs. Giant. She wasn't so bad. She just got mixed up with the wrong kind of man.
And now she's a widow. Merry Christmas!
All I know is you're safe.
And all I know is we have a magic harp which will make a definite success of the end.
Do we?
Of course.
The giant is dead, and Jack is rich. We're happy as can be. 'Cause now...
Really? Do we really need another song to wrap things up? This is becoming like that play I had back in the 6th grade. Except painful. And somehow the entire town comes into her house to rejoice. Because I guess home security wasn't a thing.
Never, never stop. Tomorrow we will go to town and visit every shop.
Oh hey! There's Lion Lyle Landley, with his pants on fire because he's a liar. I can't wait for her to be tarred and feathered, and never mind, they're all singing, which means nothing will happen to him.
Wasn't it worth waiting for? No!
Yeah! Another awkward cut, and... oh yeah, I forgot about Santa, and...
Wait a minute, what's going on? Why is the film rewinding?
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl named Thumbelina.
What? Thumbelina? I had to review 3 of these?
And believe, and all your dreams will come true.
No. No! No!
Yeah, as it turns out, there are 2 different versions of this movie. One where Santa tells the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, and the other where he instead tells the story of Thumbelina, also directed by Mary Mahan. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Thumbelina opens up with this girl who walks through the Pirates World theme park and checking out the Hans Christian Andersen attraction. It's also worth noting that this song sounds like something you hear in a theme park, incidentally. Whoa, wait a minute. They were too lazy to omit the opening credits? Seriously? Jack and the Beanstalk didn't have the opening credits, so what the heck happened? Also, is this all part of Santa's story here? That must be one interesting story he's telling those kids.
Welcome to the fairyland of Hans Christian Andersen. I am going to tell you the story of Thumbelina.
Wow, and this narrator sounds so bored. Though personally, in a film like this, I wouldn't blame her.
Thumbelina's mother was really an aging spinster who was unable to have children of her own. She wanted ever so badly to have someone to love and to care for, so she finally decided to do something about it.
So, just like Jack and the Beanstalk, this more or less follows the tale of Thumbelina. Well, except that reading the tale might actually be less boring than this travesty.
Oh, day after day I put the kettle on, and no one comes to call. I'm getting so tired of being lonesome.
Who is she talking to? There's someone here. We've pretty much established that she lives on her own. So the old woman goes to visit the Good Witch, and saying Good Witch reminds me of an even older film that I'd much rather be watching. And not only do we get pointless song number 12 here, but nothing happens, just like every other song, but a whole half of this song is just instrumentals. No one's singing for half of the song! My god, do something!
Last year I turned an ugly toad into a prince real quick. From a little seed comes a little princess, that's what magic.
So after 3 of the longest minutes of your life, the plot gets going again. I think.
You say you would like a little girl? Well, you're too old to have a child. Children need the guidance of someone much younger.
Yes. The Good Witch. Disrespecting the elderly, great message.
But yeah, this witch is willing to give this woman a daughter, as long as she gives her
12 pennies.
12 cents? Really? Okay, I'll admit, I never read the original fairy tale, but 12 cents? So the fairy tale was originally written in 1835, and 12 cents is worth about $4.10 today. So, she wants just over $4 for a human life? That's incredible!
Hey everybody, I have $5. You're looking at the next President of the United States. They all laughed at me.
So they make the agreement, and the witch hands the woman a magic seed. After 2 minutes of nothing happening later, the woman plants her seed.
No, seriously, nothing happens for 2 minutes. Surprised?
So the flower grows, and out comes the titular character, Thumbelina. So the new mother gathers different items around her kitchen for Thumbelina to use as furnishings, and ah! Oh my god! How is the green screen effect even worse than in Jack and the Beanstalk? How is this movie getting progressively worse? Why did I choose this for my first review? Why have we seen or heard any mention of his so-called ice cream bunny yet? For God's sake, his name takes up half the title!
The little girl was completely happy. Her bed was a walnut shell. Her playthings were the kitchen utensils. Her life was perfect.
So Thumbelina enjoys her life at home when... Oh yeah, right. We haven't had a song in the past 5 minutes.
How I love my little dance floor on the tabletop.
Alright, I'll save you.
It's just as pointless as all the others, nothing happens, and it goes on for way too long. All of a sudden, Thumbelina gets stolen by... Well, they say it's a frog. That is the ugliest frog I've ever seen if that's supposed to be a frog.
My mother's getting me a wife. All this time I've been doing nothing
nothing but sitting by the pad going ribbit, ribbit. Or sometimes, when I get bored, I go chugga run, chugga run.
So the Thingies attempt to arrange a marriage between Thumbelina and Thingy Jr. And we cut back to Thumbelina's mother, who finds out she's not here.
Thumbelina, where are you? Oh, Thumbelina. You're gone. Gone.
Whoa, hang on. Emotion? We have emotion? Oh my god! We have an actual human in this movie! Maybe this is the movie attempting to turn over a new leaf! Yes, this is all building up to a spectacular emotion! Oh, this is the last we're seeing of his character, isn't it? That's it, I'm getting out of here.
The little girl's plight was desperate, until a fish felt sorry for her and chewed the roots of the lily pad loose so that it would float downstream, away from her captors.
What?! I thought the frog costume was bad. What are these supposed to even be? Apparently, according to the original tale, those are supposed to be stag beetles. But do they look anything like beetles? Hell, do they look anything like... well, anything? Oh, okay. Enough of those characters, I guess. What's Thumbelina gonna do now?
Oh, is this for Gary?
When I'm as frightened as can be.
Oh, come on, another song! I turn on Santa the Ice Cream Buddy, not We Sing!
It's just a funny little song. It doesn't mean a thing.
Huh. Well, sums it up right there. So the creatures of the striped boxers show back up, and wanna torture Thumbelina because she's different. Nothing comes of this scene, and Thumbelina runs away. Moving on.
The forest was filled with many scary things.
Well, yeah. Can't argue with that one. So Thumbelina learns to adapt to her new environment, but soon enough, winter comes, and she realizes that she must take shelter. Also, it's worth noting here that there's fake snow placed everywhere, but they couldn't use fake snow in the opening scene that takes place in the North Pole.
No, I don't care if these are two completely separate movies made by two completely different people. I'm allowed to complain about this, damn it!
Anyway, it's here that Thumbelina meets up with Mrs. Cheap Costume that looks nothing like a mole. It's also worth noting that this is the character that's been slowly narrating this whole thing. And no, her dialogue doesn't speed up so we can end this movie faster. If anything, she seems to be talking slower than in her narration.
Of course I'll fix you something.
Anyway, Thumbelina recaps the whole story, just in case we were asleep the last 20 or so minutes.
Which, to be fair, is very, very likely.
I had a very nice home, but a nasty old frog stole me away. She wanted me to marry her son.
So Thumbelina settles down with Mrs. whatchamacallit. It stays a while. As spring rolls around, another whatchamacallit, named Mr. Digger, visits the home.
Dear, I would like you to meet Mr. Digger. He lives near here, but he goes south for the winter.
Moles don't go south. That's what birds do.
My. What a beautiful child.
My. I don't think moles' mouths move like that.
My home is not very far from here, and there is a tunnel from Mrs. Mole's backyard. Why don't you come with me, and I will show you some very interesting things that I have collected from all over the world.
You moles have quite good eyesight in the dark.
Yeah, it helps when Mole Tunnels has studio lighting. As they enter his house, they come across a bird that actually looks somewhat like a bird.
Round of applause, everybody! They finally got in all right!
What happened to him?
He froze in the winter. He must have gotten caught by the early snowfall on his way south, and then tried to crawl in through that hole to keep warm. Anyway, he's an ugly creature.
Mr. Whatchamacallit, you don't know what ugly is. Anyway, Mr. Digger has explained in previous conversations that he lives a very secluded lifestyle in his home, rarely ever going outside. He doesn't like anything to do with the outdoors. He hates sunlight, likes the tree roots, but not the trees themselves, and calls outside creatures ugly. But while they have a conversation about his belongings...
That chandelier, it came from an old chateau in France. And my stove, it was made by the finest Dutch craftsmen. My rug, woven by the oldest firm in Persia. And my paintings, the best of the old masters. Yes, I've spent my life collecting nice things.
He's been traveling all over the world collecting antiques. Doesn't that contradict his secluded lifestyle? Or has this movie made me suffer brain damage? Mr. Digger goes on to say that although he has many friends, he's also very lonely. Thumbelina reveals that she is also too and recaps her story again.
But I am very lonesome. You see, I was stolen from my mother by a nasty frog.
So we talk on and 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 on until this happens.
I hesitate in asking you, but under the circumstances, I think it would be appropriate. Thumbelina, will you marry me and live here with me?
I need an adult.
I am an adult. Okay. There are several things wrong with this. One, I'm pretty sure that Mr. Digger is pretty up there in age, and Thumbelina is a child. Two, Mr. Digger is a mole, and Thumbelina is a human. Three, you've only just met. You just known each other for maybe 10 minutes, tops. 4, even without the other 3 problems, these two live completely different lifestyles. One is homesick, but enjoys everything the outdoors has to offer, while still trying to find her way home, and the other lives a secluded, not secluded lifestyle. I know this is all following a fairy tale from the 1830s, but what?
Marry you? Why, Mr. Digger, you just met me today.
Oh, my head. Well, at least somebody has a fraction of logic.
Thank you, Mr. Digger. I know you've meant everything you've said sincerely, and I will think about it.
So after suffering more aneurysms than I can count...
No, seriously, this movie may be... Dane bread.
I didn't know it at the time, but Thumbelina felt trapped about the marriage. She had decided to go through with it,
Now, dear,
only to help me.
I know he is an older man, but he is
Editing 101, guys. If a narration is overlapping someone talking, fix it. It's not rocket science. Anyway, Thumbelina decides to go through with a marriage, because if she stays with Mrs. Whatchamacallit, she'll run out of resources for her, so her conclusion is to marry him.
Oh, dear, I didn't know I had been imposing on you.
I'm acting.
So Thumbelina sleeps on this decision.
And live here underground.
Okay, I know the previous million or so songs have kinda had this problem, and I'm beating a dead horse by mentioning this. But listen to her singing voice here.
To feel the sun
not even trying to mimic her voice. Thumbelina appears to be played by an actress in her late teens or early 20s, but the singing voice is clearly from a much older woman. Just what the heck? It's like if Ben Stein did a voiceover for a character played by Jim Carrey. It just doesn't match. So skipping over song number 9000, Thumbelina suddenly remembers that bird we saw for like 10 minutes ago, and never mentioned again, and she decides to cover him up out of politeness or something, I don't know. It's there that she makes a shocking discovery.
I do believe I hear a very faint heartbeat.
The blanket and Thumbelina's body warmth actually thawed the bird's frozen blood. It was slow, but she gradually nursed her new friend back to health.
As the bird warms up, as this very slow narration tells us, we skip ahead to the day preceding Thumbelina's marriage to Mr. Digger.
Wedding day. This is the time a girl should be happy, not sad.
We're arranging a marriage between you and an old guy you just met. Be happy, damn it!
Oh, Thumbelina, you have made me very happy.
Thumbelina decides to go and check on the bird again, only to realize he's up and flown away. Yeah, we get the drift.
Thinking her friend was gone, Thumbelina was very sad. This would be the last time she would be above ground, the last time she would see the trees, and the last time she would see the blue sky.
Wait. So not only is she going through an arranged marriage, and not only is she getting married to someone much older than her, but she's being restricted to his house?
No. I'm not going there. I refuse.
But as she goes outside, she hears the bird again. She tells the bird of her woes, and the bird suggests running away.
Every summer I fly north, and as autumn comes I fly south. I see many places and towns where they have people like you.
My foster mother was not like me. I'm so much smaller.
I know, but a mole is not even the same thing. You must find a person, a human being to marry.
And the one who actually looks like an animal is the one who has the most logic.
I think the bird deserves a round of applause.
Yes, I'm taking you with me, and we are going south. Winter is coming soon, and I don't want to be caught again.
Wait a minute. Winter is coming? Wasn't it spring last time she went outside? Anyway, in return for saving his life, the bird offers to fly her to a civilization with people just like her.
Mr. Digger and I were disappointed to have her leave so suddenly. But after talking it over, we realized how much we had been asking of the little girl.
The world is so
She needed people of
Oh my
her
gosh,
own
stop
kind.
overlapping.
And
I
the
can't
things
hear what
around
anyone's
her
saying.
she loved.
Hello? Can anyone hear
Thinking of
me?
the flower children. Perhaps you'll like.
Then, Thumbelina herself narrates another recap of the story.
going to happen when she went to see that witch. I was happy there. I was happy in the woods, even though my mother wasn't there. Except Mad Frog's fault. She should have left me with my mother. She was worried about having another mouth to feed. Long evenings around her fire. I remember how sad I was when Mr. Bird was gone. I think that was the saddest day of my life.
The saddest day of your life? You saw him 5 minutes after he left. What are you talking about? Finally, Thumbelina arrives in the land of the flower people.
You're finally here. Our history books have said that someday the rightful queen of the flower children would come. Her name would be Thumbelina, and she would become my wife. I have waited a long time, Thumbelina, but now I see you are as beautiful as the book said you would be. Will you marry me and be my queen?
Oh no. Not another immediate marriage attempt!
But thankfully, she insists they wait a while to get to know each other first. Eventually, after hopefully a year or two has passed, they get married, we get our ending song that really doesn't matter, and we get this little info about the two whatchamacallits.
Mr. Digger decided he wanted to marry someone, so he married me. Thank you for listening.
He married you? He married you? He tried to marry Thumbelina this whole time when he could have just married you? I'm good.
So, we get a reprisal of the opening theme song, more shots of a theme park that I can see why it's out of business, and finally we get to the end of the— Oh, hi Santa, I forgot you were in this movie. You were only off screen for what, an hour? 2 if you count Jack and the Beanstalk?
Oh my god, please don't let there be a third version. I don't think I can take it anymore. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! We can finally wrap this up.
So Santa concludes his stories, the kids bring their dog to Santa's attention, and—
But kind of small to be able to pull a sled.
Oh, he's a small dog, but he can do anything.
Well,
And he can do real wonderful tricks, too.
well, if all the other animals couldn't get us out of the sand, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or
He'll
not.
think of a way.
Wow, so much for keeping faith and not giving up, huh, Santa? So the kids apparently realize his hypocrisy and run away again, leaving Santa for dead.
Look at that sun.
Ah, yes. Glad to see that Santa is still, in fact, hot under that sun. In Florida. On the beach. In those clothes.
Oh.
And Santa decides to do something he should have done a little while ago. Get out of his coat to avoid overheating. And then he falls asleep. I'm now thoroughly convinced he just came here to get a tan. And several awkward cuts later, we see a guy in a creepy bunny suit driving a vehicle full of children. Ah yes, nothing wrong with this picture at all. And yes, with literally less than 10 minutes left in the movie, we finally get the ice cream bunny. You know who the ice cream bunny is, right? His name only takes up half of a gosh darn title! Oh wow. Yeah, we'll go with this take. Never mind the fact that we have a dog running in the road with a vehicle fast approaching. They're lucky the ice cream bunny had good reflexes or there wouldn't be a movie.
And we wouldn't want that, would we?
So the bunny drives through the nearby Pirates World Park, where it's clearly been raining. Oops.
Oh, whoa, it's me.
Oh, okay, that didn't happen. The nearby siren catches Santa's attention.
Where's that coming from? Oh, I hear sirens, but I don't see a fire. I don't see any smoke. Whenever there's a siren, it means there's a fire.
Apparently he's never heard of police or paramedics. Hey, look at those kids moving their mouths with no words coming out. Also, look at that mascot. Aww. Would you like to run a theme park with that cute widow thing running around?
Maybe if a theme park was themed around hell, that would be appropriate!
Santa gets his coat back on, so they don't see him out of his attire apparently, and...
What is
Woe is me, oh woe is me. We will set old Santa free.
And we get the children singing a reprisal of Santa's song from the beginning of this movie. So they finally arrive at a beach Santa is stuck at, and... what is with that shot there? My god, he went fully crazy and he thinks he's Jesus. And now they're suddenly parked 20 feet farther away from his sleigh. Consistency? What's that?
Could it be
The ice cream bunny, of course. Of course.
Of course? Yeah, apparently Santa is friends with this guy, I guess.
Will we get any elaboration on this? No, we won't. I'm not even gonna hesitate to answer that.
Old friend, the ice cream bunny. I surely hope that you'll be able to help me out of my predicament this time.
Oh, ew, no winking. Bad bunny, bad bunny, bad bunny! We get an unnecessary shot of the dog for some reason and... whoa. Okay, they're standing less than 2 inches apart from one another. Oh my gosh, are they about to fight one another?
If this turns into a Family Guy chicken fight, I will take back everything I've just said about this movie.
Alas, no, that doesn't happen. Would you get this clip, though?
Yeah. If you ever want to hear jingle bells being played on the kazoo, get help. Please.
So the Ice Cream Bunny offers Santa a lift back to the North Pole. It's very easy to get there in a car, really. Just drive out in the ocean and turn left.
Goodbye, children. Remember, you have to keep faith and you have to believe and everything will turn out to be just fine.
As Santa leaves, the children decide to go back to a sleigh for some reason. Yes. Yes, that is a sleigh. Just where you left. Huh? So, Santa's sleigh could teleport this whole time?
They're waiting for him.
What was the whole point of this whole movie then?
The end. This movie blows chunks.
The acting is abysmal, the editing is jarring, the sound mixing is terrible, and the production values are beyond cheap even for a 70s budget title. Not to mention the main characters that are the title of this movie barely have any screen time at all. Much of the movie is taken up by another movie. And in my time watching film reviews before trying it out myself, that's a first for me. Oh, did I mention that Santa's sleigh could teleport the whole time? What's the whole point of a movie? What's the point of even having reindeer? Santa could just go from house to house like that. He could get out of his predicament just like that. This movie, counting both Thumbelina and Jack and the Beanstalk, is 2.5 hours. And I say that's 2.5 hours I'm never getting back anytime soon. And it's no wonder why Pirates World fared after this. I wouldn't want to go after seeing this pile of beach trash.
It's just a shame I don't own a physical copy of this movie. Because I know exactly what I'd want to do with it. I know! There. It's buried. Well, my work here is done.
a helping hand and get my sleigh out of the sand. My reindeers left me sitting here. It was just too hot for them, I fear. My predicament lacks its usual cheer, because Christmas Day will soon be here. Who will help me? Who will set me free? If my friends knew where to find me, they would be here.